I don't think the ammo packs are particularly something that I don't think they see a lot of use in this format, though. It's such a fast-paced and frantic experience.
Well, it looks like these teams are readying up now. The prereq is going on, and I think we're going to see the teams running out to mid at any particular moment now.
Yeah, we're seeing the blue team is rolling out to luggage, which I actually find I want to say that's a bit of a strange rollout almost, but you know,
they're taking the long way round. They're enjoying the airport experience.
Yeah, it does seem to be working for them. They have the high ground on the point, and they're trying to use the high ground to their advantage.
Well, I think they're hanging out on the high ground when there's no opportunity to take the point, and now that the point has an opportunity to be taken, I'm not sure that there's enough of them left to take it. That said, they are very much in high spirits at the moment. We've got Yuho and Health Hazard coming up the underside way, trying to get in and not really making advantage of the numbers they've got, although they are going up against Garden Fungus. Garden Fungus retreating to luggage to try and pick up some health for themselves, manages to stay alive and go in again, possibly on their own, although these pro players very much staying together, hanging out in this midsection. Nobody's managed to take the point yet. It's a very hard fought fight to try and get themselves back together again, although Benefactor going up against Yuno on the midpoint has now found themselves looking into the jaws of defeat with Health Hazard and Yoshi working their way back around. The blue point finally being taken, or the point finally to be taken, I should say, for the blue team. It is now theirs to take, and Google Frost is trying to do their best to defend and hold that point against attack, and going down for their efforts. Garden Fungus going up against this red team is very furiously defending it. The blue team now in a position where they do not want to give up this point under any circumstance, although they do have to concede because Health Hazard is proving the very trueness of his name.
It was a really long initial mid fight there. Then it swung to the favor of blue side, but then it kind of stayed a back and forth. It's just been this very long-winded fight around the mid.
I think what we're finding is that with the midpoint having such a long time to be taken, and whether that is a point of the map or whether it's just the very nature of the Pyros needing to be, there's no scouts to try and cap quickly. Oh, a new point. It seems like everyone is coming in through plain side to get onto the point. Finally, for the first time, we're seeing almost all players just descending on this point at the same time. Are we going to see Frost dominating? They do seem to be left out on their own. It's a chilly morning for Frost, where there doesn't seem to be any teammates backing up. Here comes Frylock, jumping in from nowhere to do the damage. Take out.
We saw a melee kill there. Very exciting. I think that's the first time we've seen a melee kill in these past 2 games.
If you've got it, fling it. And if you can't fling it, swipe it. That's what I've always said. And nobody understood what I was on about until this very moment. And even then, I think that I might be slightly confused.
It does look like the red team is still struggling to get their point time in. The blue team just holding the point for so long at this point. There's a minute deficit between the timers here, so that's a very sizable advantage for the blue team.
They do seem on the blue team to be looking at the idea of taking the opposition out and then capping versus the stratagem as it seems to be with these pro players, where they go for the point first and then try and take out their team opposition later, which doesn't seem to be working out for them. Makes them very predictable. A predictable foe is a dead foe, is what I always say sometimes when I'm not saying the other thing. Health Hazard left out on his own, unfortunately trying to run away, trying to find some sort of way of surviving this onslaught. Is not going to find it, but we do find Garden Fungus a way out in the departure board area. They are doing as they have done before with a very fast forward hold, and a drop down by Yoshi forces the situation to turn around once again. Frost gets to be burnt to a crisp. Not a frosty morning for him. Frylock going in again, finding themselves out on their own, but not entirely, because there is a bit of backup coming in the form of a currently outnumbered, outclassed, out-serialized player of the name that I can't quite see, but he has got a beautiful lo-fi that I'm being distracted by.
Yeah, it's a nice hat. I know lots of people love it. Lots of people want it. But it
They
does look
can't
like
have
blue
it.
team does
can't
clinch
have it.
the first round.
Indeed, GOOF is taking the 1-0, and we are going to be restarting this map in just a few milliseconds. In fact, before I have an opportunity to finish this sentence, they will see the players jutting out of their start area. Once again, descending on midpoint, the team of GOOF going the longest possible way. I don't think they know the shortcuts yet, but it doesn't seem to make a huge deal of difference. Jason Lee going down almost immediately.
Yeah, the blue team got an early pick there because they all grouped up and went into baggage, and then they found the one player who went baggage on their own, and then they got the pick, and now they got the second pick as well. So it looks like they have a lot of momentum here in this mid fight. They're getting the cap, they're taking a little bit of forward space. Though I was kind of surprised last time we didn't really see anyone pushing into the lobby or pushing into the gate. Like people stay, the blue team, like they stay pretty calm outside. Like they're not really pushing up too far. They're not taking all the space they could be taking. Maybe that's maybe they know that that's the better way to go on this map.
Well, 3-Res for the first time, I think, today, certainly that I've seen, got an opportunity to utilize the gas passer and used it to full effect. Not able to get a kill from it, but still able to walk out and manage to pick up health. There is
oftentimes the gas passer isn't really something you'll get a frag with, but just putting people, dousing them in gas is essentially the same as fragging them, because they won't really be wanting to take a fight while covered in the gas because it's such a big disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Crowd control, or the ability to manipulate the area to your own advantage, definitely something to be looked at. Speaking of manipulating the crowds to your own advantage, the clock has not even begun to tick in the side of the offs. It is all on the GOOFs. GOOF seem to be dominating this round on this map.
Yeah, the GOOF troop even pushing up into lobby right there. They with the three players going into lobby and trying to find some early action. It seemed to work out for them. They didn't really bleed any players as a result. They seem to have a good beat on what they can get away with.
Oh, you say that now, but here we are, Caster's Curse coming out once again. We see ourselves in a situation where Rez is outnumbered. Can they manage to escape this? No, they cannot. I think Yoshi was very pleased to find themselves able to pick up the health pack and actually now capping the point, finally. Is it going to go their way? Are they finally going to be able to stop this? Only a minute left on the clock. Caught out on their own. Fungus going in. Not just Fungus, but Fungus +1. But Fungus +1 is now Fungus -1, and even possibly minus Fungus. Has Fungus had the opportunity to stay alive long enough to get to the health back? No, he's not. Grox takes him out. And finally, we see ourselves with a situation where maybe, just maybe, can it possibly be? No, it can't. My goodness me. Yes, it can. Here we are, Health Hazard on the point on their own, and an opportunity to capture. It's gone their way. Finally, the clock has started ticking down in the eyes of ourselves, but not to be seen for too long.
Yeah, they're really stabilizing now. They got a lot of time there. Even though at some point they were outnumbered and the blue team had some respawners coming in, they still managed to hold on to the point, making good use of the air blast and the fact that you can knock people off of the high ground and then they have to walk around. Yeah, it was good. It was a good use of positioning there. And they almost got a minute off the clock now, so...
Well, more than that, they seem to be holding onto the clock, although the clock, speaking of which, Caster's Curse calls once again, and here we find ourselves in a situation where we are back to the blue clock ticking down. Health Hazard on the point with trying desperately to get a kill in. They do get one off on Frost, but that's not going to be enough. Health Hazard goes down to almost everybody gets their teeth into Health Hazard. Health Hazard only seems to be a health hazard to themselves.
They're seeing a little bit of flank play, trying to pick a fight behind the point, seeing if they can maybe pincer the people on the point, but it doesn't really seem to be working. It's turning into a weird 1v1 behind the point on the enemy side, though they do seem to be finally walking onto the point and getting that point time.
Yep, it's definitely going their way. GOOF, Garden Fungus, I've never seen this person move in less than a two-person combo for any long time. They are on the clock, on the time at the moment. This poor little Jason Lee is trying desperately hard to get them off, cannot do so. It seems like we definitely, most obviously do have ourselves a winner, not just of this map, but also the entire.
Yeah, the blue team there did a great job of denying the overtime. They they cleaned up all the players and air blasted them off and made it so that they had no time remaining whatsoever, so that they could just end the round right there. No final fight, no overtime, no reason to get no nervous moments where you have to get that final push in, and there's like this moment where your team might the team might make the mistake, or there might be too much pressure and they might not be able to perform. No, they just cleanly finished it.
Yeah, professionals, for me, I saw them doing a lot of work where they were trying to push forward, trying to push the enemy team off the point itself, as if somehow that was going to give them an opportunity to score. When the GOOF troop were really putting all of their effort into getting the kills in, making sure the enemy team doesn't actually exist, can't pose them any kind of a problem, and then taking the point and then controlling that point. Whereas professionals seem to be much more about, let's focus on the point, let's play the point, which is a valid strategy, but only against a team that isn't moving together as one. And as these players, the more they play, the more they realize that the ultimate strat is to play together as a team, to perform or form these groups of twos and threes and move together as a little troop themselves, a sort of a mini onslaught with each single pass. And sure, you might find yourself in a situation where you're left alone, and then your priority is to get out, find some sort of health pack, find a teammate, and then move out with that teammate. But the idea that you can do a 1v1 and then roll that into another 1v1 or 1v2 and come out of it alive, come out of it smelling of roses, doesn't seem to be the way that these things are playing out. This much more so than any other game mode. And I think realistically, from my experience of playing Team Fortress 2, a Pyro on their own is a dead Pyro.